Dude, we're here. We're chilling out at the park. It's not raining. It's still there's still like water droplets falling from the trees, so I gotta wipe off my phone periodically. Hold on, actually, I'll probably do that right now. Oop, there you go. Yeah, so we're chilling out here at Mingus, and it feels good. It feels good. I needed to stand up anyway, so it's also lots of rain everywhere. I mean, lots of water everywhere. Water. But yeah, no, we're talking about your guys' favorite governor of all time. Your woke, sexy governor Tim Walz, and yeah, everything that's happening down there is crazy. And you know, it all started with Nick Shirley uncovering the BS that was going on in Minnesota. You know, Minnesota sucks. Let's just face it. Minnesota is not a place I'd want to live. It's cold. It's overly liberal. I mean, it's cold here, but it's not like it's not Minnesota cold here in Oregon. So like, I mean, surprisingly, Oregon's becoming more 50-50. I think the only people who vote liberal now are the ones who pretty much live in Portland. So I think the wokening is finally done. I think we've all kind of gotten sick and tired of liberals overtaxing us. I think it's time that we lower taxes, because a lot of the money doesn't go anywhere good, is what I'm trying to get at. And that's what I think. The whole situation with ICE down there, though, that's gotten kind of out of hand. I saw the video from multiple angles that everybody's been talking about, and I mean, I will admit, the ICE agent was technically in front of the passenger's vehicle. Not the passenger, the driver's vehicle. And she did move forward. So in a sense, she did use the car as a weapon, but I don't think she deserved to be shot 3 times. It just feels a little excessive. You know, it does feel a bit excessive, but I think both were in the wrong. She was in the wrong for trying to run him over, and I think the dude was in the wrong for shooting her 3 times. You know, at that point, you know, just let her go. I mean, you arrest her, obviously, because you got her plates, you got her identity at that point. So, yeah, the whole situation's kind of crazy, more than anything. But yeah, down here in Mingus Park, feeling good. Oh yeah, here's the park. Yep, that's the park we're looking at, folks. Yep, down here at Mingus, man. But yeah, no, whatever happened, you know, what happened down there, I think both were in the wrong. I think the driver was in the wrong. I think the ICE agent was in the wrong. I think both were in the wrong, because she was clearly trying to run him over. I saw the other angle of the video, but I don't think shooting somebody 3 times, it just feels a little too excessive. It's too excessive. This is why they deserve stun weaponry, you know? I mean, like, I was going to say stun weaponry is not bad. You can give these guys stun guns. I mean, they exist. And there's been ample improvement in the world of stun weaponry. And I just don't think these guys are showing responsibility in the way that they're using lethal weapons. That's all. But yeah, no, I just think that I don't think you really need to take a side on this one. I think both were in the wrong. It sucks that she had to lose her life, though. I'm not a fan of that. I don't like it when anybody loses their life. Had a pretty good day, man. Had a pretty good day, brother. But yeah, no, I'm still... What happened down in Minnesota, though, is still not a good situation, you know? I'm pretty disappointed in it. Disappointed by a whole lot of it, you know? I just think it's too crazy of a situation to really give a full opinion on, you know? And that's just how I feel about it. Ultimately, from the other angle of the video, and thank goodness there were multiple video angles, because the other angle is pretty damning, that she was going towards him. Like I said, both are in the wrong. She should not have tried to run him over. He shouldn't have shot her 3 times. That was wrong. That was absolutely 100% wrong, in my opinion. Yeah, at this point, you know, I just think there's too many... I think we can all live together in peace. But it starts with, I think we need to stop taking sides in these matters, you know? I think too many people are thinking in either you must take a side or you're a bad person. No, I think you could take neither side. You know, I think both were in the wrong ultimately. I think she was wrong for trying to run him over. I think he was wrong for shooting her 3 times. I don't think that was necessary. When somebody is not, I know that she used the car as a weapon, but at the same time, it's like you dodged out of the car, which is good. But at the same time, you didn't need to shoot 3 times. I just feel like that was crazy. Yeah. But no, I'm not taking any sides in this matter. In fact, if anything, I think it's just foolish to do so. Hold on, is it raining again? Yeah, forecast said it wasn't going to rain, but it looks like it's going to rain a little bit. Hold on. Oop. Gonna have to wipe down the phone periodically. Whew. Well, what we'll do, we could probably take a walk in the woods. Let's see. Here, I'm going to put on my hood. Whew. Trying to make sure we could do this. I might try to find a covered area here in a second. I think the rain will probably dissipate here in a sec, but I'll just kind of cover my phone. And yeah, no, I don't think she was in the right. She clearly used her car as a weapon based on that other angle. Yeah, I definitely think she was in the wrong, for sure. But it was one of those situations where, like, I'm sorry, I just think that if the other person doesn't have a gun, sure, they're trying to get away, but you don't fatally shoot them. The ICE agent could have shot out the tires, you know, easily. And the more I look into the situation, the more I realize that the lady was in the wrong and the dude was in the wrong. But yeah, that's the way I see it. It's a little rainy out here, sadly. I might have to go into the deeper wooded areas. Maybe not, though. I don't know. We'll see. It just seems to be raining a little bit where I'm at. I might have to get under the trees a bit. At least if I get under the trees, it won't be as bad. I just got to keep covering the top. But yeah, no, I think that yeah, no, I just yeah, the whole situation just seems pretty effed. Yeah, I think that, granted, I'm not a fan of anybody being shot at. It's not my cup of tea. I don't like it, man. I'm not a fan of it. Now, granted, do I think that she deserved it? No. I don't think she deserved to be shot at. I think the guy could have easily dodged the car, maybe shot the tires, if you want to stop her from getting away. You know, and they are technically, ICE is technically, they are federal agents. Should they be disbanded? Maybe. I don't know. I don't know what their recruitment, I think the recruitment process is a little bit sketch, and I think there are some bad actors, quite a few bad actors who join ICE, unfortunately. It sucks. It really does. I don't know. Should they disband ICE? Probably. I don't know. It just seems like it's more trouble than it's worth. Or at least do a better job of recruiting people, you know? But yeah, no, that video, like I said, I'm just having, I can't take the side of either of those people. She did clearly use her car as a weapon, but he didn't need to draw his weapon the way he did. So. Bullshit? No, I think it's fine to not necessarily take a side. I think that both sides are in the wrong. Seriously, I think both sides were in the wrong. He could have easily dodged and not shot her. You know, and he did dodge, but it could have turned out that she would have ran him over potentially. And thank goodness he got out of the way. But also, you know, the drawing of the gun felt it felt unnecessary. It really did. Look, I'm not a fan of these people that are obstructing these situations. I mean, like, I think that, I'm not a big fan of ICE, preferably, I'm not a big fan of ICE, but at the same time, they are technically federal agents, and, if you're gonna try to block traffic or try to run them over, I still don't think she should have been shot. Yeah, even though she did use her car as a weapon, I don't think she should have been shot, though. That was pretty messed up. Yeah, and the best thing you could do is ignore Karens. Sometimes you have to tell a Karen to fuck off, and clearly the person who was trying to run over the ICE agent was a Karen, because only a Karen would do something that crazy. No, and by the way, I'm not defending the person who tried to run over the ICE agent, but I'm not defending the ICE agent either. I think the ICE agent didn't do the right. They both are in the wrong. I'm sick of a world where people say that you got to take a side. You don't have to take a side. You can condemn both sides. I condemn both sides on that one. But yeah, no, I'm totally fine with condemning both sides on this. And it's kind of rainy out here, but it's not looking too bad. Yeah, beautiful day at Mingus Park. Feeling good. But yeah, I think... No, what I think Nick Shirley's doing is amazing. I think Nick is the man. Just as a heads up, I think Nick Shirley did in Minnesota was pretty damn courageous, if you ask me. And for those of you who are blaming Nick Shirley for all this, it's like, yeah, he exposed fraud, and then Tim Walz's result is basically trying to deflect the blame, when in all reality it was Tim Walz's fault. Supposedly the number's up to $9 billion, so it's like, yeah, the whole situation's ridiculous, man. But, yep. But yeah, it's one of those situations where I don't take sides on either thing. I condemn both sides. I condemn the person who tried to run the dude over. I condemn the dude for shooting her 3 times. I think that's a little excessive. That did not need to happen. So that's the way I see it. But yeah, basically, yeah, what I'm saying is both sides are in the wrong. It's that simple. Both sides are absolutely in the wrong, man. Yeah, it's a lose-lose situation, man. Darth Slayer says it's official, Garza's homeless. Yeah, I'm chilling out in the park, though. I love chilling out in the park, man. It's like it's a second office for me. It's another office to do the show in. But yeah, no, having a good time here. I love it out here, man. It's it's not supposed to rain technically until 12. I looked at the weather forecast, but then again, weather forecasts are about as accurate as my predictions, so basically not accurate at all. Madman says ban the spam, please. I don't really care about the spammers. I don't really pay attention to those guys. If you guys pay attention to the spammers, just ignore them, dude, or block them or something. But that's the way it goes, man. But yeah, no, I take no sides when it comes down to it. I'm not a guy to take sides in situations like this, because you can't. I think it's just both sides were in the wrong, man. Both sides. Yeah. But chilling out here at the park, feeling good. Yep. It's going, bud. Yeah, it's it's one of those situations. I mean, like, if you watch from the different angles of the video, the car was going, right? The car was going forward, and you look at the other angle, it's pretty damning. The ICE agent was actually in front of the vehicle, right? And then, obviously, he could have just dodged and not shot. There was no... honestly, in my opinion, it's good that he dodged. I'm glad he dodged, but I'm not happy about him pulling the gun. I don't think the gun was necessary afterwards. Because once you clear, I mean, I just think that you're just making it worse. But yeah, she was clearly using her car as a weapon. Let's not forget that. But he shouldn't. I just watching that video, man, I just don't think he needed to shoot. He already got out of the way of danger. After that, you just, count your blessings that you're alive. Oh, no. Here's the thing. She should have stayed put. I mean, in this instance, obviously, if she would have just stayed put, that's the thing. But it sucks that she had to. It sucks that the dude had to pull the gun. That's the thing that sucks the most about this. I'm not happy about that. I'm just not. I just think the whole situation's pretty effed. It's pretty messed up. And I just don't. I don't think anybody wins in this scenario. I really don't, man. I'm having trouble finding. Yeah, I'm out here. I'm outside. I love being outside, by the way. I prefer doing my show out here in the nature. By the way, don't forget to subscribe. Also, gifts help the channel grow. So the more gifts we get, the better. So you guys feel free to send virtual gifts my way. It helps the channel in so many ways. And I'll also shout out the gifts too. Every time. Well, here's the thing, man. I mean, these guys are federal agents, Whether the guy's masked or not, I mean, these guys, I'm not a big fan of ICE. Don't get me wrong, I'm not a fan. But you can't just run them over, And, the rhetoric around ICE, is that you got to defy them and stuff or whatever. I don't think you should. They're still federal agents, and they do have jurisdiction, even though I disagree with a lot of their tactics. Absolutely, I disagree with a lot of ICE's tactics, for sure. But I don't really necessarily blame people for getting panicky. I get it. I would get a little panicky too. A masked guy comes out of the middle of nowhere, claims to be a federal agent. So I don't know. It's one of those situations that but yeah, they're going in and yeah, the whole situation's crazy though. Especially with I don't know. And Tim Walz is using this as a distraction as well. He's using this as a distraction to keep people not thinking about the fraud. He still needs to resign. I think Tim Walz needs to flat out resign because obviously he's a part of the problem. Tim Walz is a major part of the problem here. And I'm not a fan of, just not a fan. Don't forget to tap the subscribe button, though. The more subscribers we get, the better. It does help the channel grow. I got my hood on because it's sort of raining a little bit. I'm just kind of wiping off the top of the phone. But yeah, no, it's see, probably a little bit of keeps raining out here, you guys. I'm so effed. Yep. But yeah, it is raining just a bit out here. Probably have to find some cover here in a second. But oh, lordy, I might go under one of the areas. There is a few areas I could go under. Ooh, it's raining. Here, we'll keep you guys nice and safe. How's that sound? We'll keep you guys under the. So I'll keep talking to you guys while I got you guys safely nestled under the couch. There we go. I'm gonna wipe this thing down though. Hold on, let me. All right, here we go, dude. So I'm gonna keep you guys kind of nestled under the phono somehow, and yeah, I really, the weather fucking lied to me. Maybe I should get under the trees again. Yeah, I think if I get under the trees, I'll probably be in a better spot. Yeah, this tree seems pretty decent. Or how about this tree? This tree right here, under this tree. Yeah, here we go. I think this is, the further I get under this tree, I think the better, because it's not going to be as intense with the raindrops. Dude, the daycares are clearly fake. And the kids that are going in and out of those daycares, by the way, I think they're just doing it to save face at this point. There's a lot of questionable things going on in Minnesota, so I don't think I need to put the hood on at the moment. But yeah, I'm under a tree at the moment, so it kind of keeps me feeling pretty good. I'm pretty sure there's a squirrel or something hiding in this bush over here. No, dude, Nick Shirley's video is pretty damning. Everything that Nick Shirley showed in his video is very damning about what Minnesota's doing. So if you guys are on the side of Minnesota fraud, I don't know what to tell you. I think you guys are on the wrong side of history, but hey, some of the libs are like, oh, you're on the wrong side of history. Stop covering up for the fraud, dude. It's clear fraud, man. But no, I gotta say that I think both were in the wrong. I think the ICE agent was in the wrong. I think the lady who was trying to run over the ICE agent, both were in the wrong. Both were absolutely in the wrong. Because she used her car as a weapon. Obviously, he drew his weapon. I don't think he needed to do that. I think that it was pretty clear that both were in the wrong. Unfortunately, she lost her life, and that sucks. It sucks she lost her life. When I saw that video, I was just very sad. It's all I could feel. Like, even though I know that she was in the wrong, I don't like seeing people lose their life, even if they're wrong. Yeah, and by the way, like I said earlier, he could have used the lethal weapon to shoot the tire, not the person. You know what I mean? And I feel like the lethal weapon's got to go, right? The only weapons these guys should own at this point or use during these raids should be stun weapons. That's it. Only thing. Right? Frog, what's going on, brother? How you doing, man? But no, the whole situation just seems pretty messed up. And you guys, don't forget to tap the subscribe button, though. The more subscribers we get, the better. It does help the channel grow. Yeah, you could call me a snowflake. That's fine. And look, I don't think you have to take a side. I think that me condemning both sides is appropriate. I see nothing wrong with condemning both sides. It's just the way I see it. Why not condemn both sides? I think he was wrong for drawing his weapon. He could, if he did draw the weapon, why not just shoot the tires? Because obviously she was impeding something. It was pretty obvious. She was blocking traffic in the road. It seemed like she was doing, and supposedly she was doing a lot of things beforehand. I still think that she was in the wrong, and that I don't think she needed to lose her life. I don't think that needed to come to that. I really think that shooting her was very messed up. I'm not a fan of that at all. What are you talking about, Darth Slayer? You saw, by the way, did you see the other angle? Did you see the other angle? There were like three separate angles, right? One angle, you couldn't really tell. The other angle, it was clear as day that the dude was in front of her hood, right? And if you slow motion it, it's pretty obvious she was trying to run him over. So, How many videos did you watch? Did you just watch the one video that showed the one angle that made it very tough? Well, no, she was trying to, by the way, she was trying to use her car as a weapon by the looks of that video. But he did not need to draw his weapon, is what I'm trying to say. He did not need to draw the weapon. By the way, I have a unibrow going on, so I'm going to pluck it. Pluck the brow. I'm just noticing it. You guys are going to watch me pluck my unibrow while talking about Tim Walz. But no, I'm not taking any sides on this one. I can't. I just don't feel like it's necessary. I'm just sad. I'm sad that the guy to draw his weapon. I don't think it needed to come to that. And now, honestly, it just makes the whole ICE effort look worse. It really does. It makes ICE look worse in the eyes of the public. So, you're not really helping your cause. He could have dodged, and he did dodge, but he didn't. Like, after he dodged, he should have just, I don't know, punched her in the face. I just think at that point, once you dodge, okay, here's the thing. I think both were in the wrong. All right. By the way, I voted for Trump. I think the ICE agent did not need to shoot her 3 times. He did not need to draw his gun. He could have dodged. He did dodge. And after that, he should have just counted his blessings at that point. And if he did want to shoot the tires. He could have clearly, if he didn't want the girl to get away, right? Bam and bam. Shoot the tires at that point. I'm just not a fan. I just don't think you should. Look, if somebody's not holding a gun, even though she did use the car as a weapon based on a lot of those angles, I still think it was messed up. I just, and this is the way I see it, obviously, and not a lot of people are going to see things the way that I see it, and that's fine. I don't expect people to just blindly agree with me. But yeah, it just feels so obvious. They get 4 weeks of training? Damn, dude. I am kind of curious what the training is like. I'm not gonna join ICE though. Hell no. I'm not doing that, dude. Look. I do believe the whole situation's pretty messed up. I wish he didn't draw his weapon. I really wish he didn't. In the way he did. Here's the thing, why are they not trained to shoot the tires? They should be trained. Look, if she had a gun on her, that's a different story. If she had a gun on her and she was trying to shoot them, okay. Granted, that's when you should pull out your gun. Absolutely. But if she's trying to run you over, sure, that's, I still don't think that's, if you dodge and get out of the way, great. They still should be, if the person's in a vehicle, they should be trained to shoot the tires. Right? And try to avoid, the whole goal should be to try to avoid a loss of life. Even if they're trying to take you out. Right? Now, unless, obviously, if she had... the story changes if she had a gun. If she had a gun, she was trying to shoot... That's different. I totally get it. Get your gun out. But, no. No, it's just one of those situations where I'm just like, eh. But, yeah, I'm not a fan of what he did. I'm not a fan of what the ICE agent did. I'm just not... I can't really... It's tough for me to get behind. It's tough for me to get behind, man. I'm not a fan of what the lady did either. I think that she did try to use her car as a weapon. And based on that angle, it really does look like she did. But no, I think... but yeah, I guess the question is, who was more in the wrong? I'm going to say the ICE agent. That's a controversial thing to say right now, but I think the ICE agent was in the wrong. I just don't see any reason. Once you dodge, you're out of harm's way. Maybe punch the car. I don't know. But I don't know. I just think if you can avoid taking a life, avoid taking a life. If you can, that should be the goal. The goal should be to apprehend, not destroy, And look, Yeah, the only time you should use the gun is if somebody is about to use a gun on you, right? That's it. Dude, first off, she could have put the car into park, is what she could have done. That car could have easily been into park, by the way. I do think this could have been avoided. By the way, I think this whole situation could have been avoided if the ICE agent didn't. If he did not draw the weapon, first off, the crazy lady would have looked like the real instigator. Because think about it this way, right? Let's say she was still alive. He didn't draw the weapon because she clearly used her car to try to run him over. It's pretty obvious. Yeah. So if you're using the car as a deadly weapon, look, I still don't think she deserved to get shot at like that. I'm not a fan of that. But she did use her car as a deadly weapon. So, I don't know. I'm not a fan. Hold on, I gotta pick my unibrow. That face is a deadly weapon. Bug off, dude. Bug off. But yeah, no, I'm yeah, the whole situation is just so wild to me. I can't believe it. Still can't believe it happened, man. You know, I know these ICE officers are trained like garbage, obviously, but like I still think it could have been done in a different way. You know what I mean? Could have been. Yeah. Look, if you know, I still think she tried to use her car as a deadly weapon because he was in front of the car. She was moving forward. It was pretty obvious, right? And this is why I don't take sides. I still think he was in the wrong for drawing his weapon the way he did. He was absolutely in the wrong. Both can be wrong, by the way. Both parties can be wrong. Even though obviously she was the one who was shot dead, she still did use her car as a deadly weapon. So she should still be labeled in the wrong on this one. But he also should be labeled in the wrong too. I understand the scenario you're presenting on this one, Corey. I understand that, man. But like, the way I look at it is this. He was able to dodge and get out of the way. Granted, I still think she's in the wrong and she would have been arrested because she used her car as a deadly weapon, right? And I agree with that completely. She did use her car as a weapon, without a doubt. And I'm not even refuting that. What I'm trying to say is that I felt like, because after the guy dodged, he could have shot the tires, you know? And obviously, yeah, she should have gotten out. She should have gotten out. I obviously would have, should have, could. Hindsight's 2020, but like, I'm not necessarily taking her side. I want to make it everybody clear. I'm just saying that obviously Governor Walz of Minnesota is going to use this as his talking point, right? He's going to use this as his talking point that ICE needs to. I still think there is a problem with the Somali daycare fraud that's going on in Minnesota. I still think that's a huge problem. That's a big problem. And who knows the level of fraud that's happening here in Oregon, for example, you know? Yeah, no, she should have got out. Absolutely. I'm saying, though, that, like, in the worst case scenario, though, obviously this lady's deranged. This lady was deranged. She was completely anti-ICE and was trying to stop whatever they were doing. But at that point, man, because it would have looked better. I think it would have looked better for ICE optically if we're going to go by optics. And I'm not a fan of going by optics alone. But I think it would have been better if he would have tried to just shoot the tires. You know, get the gun out, shoot the tires. I know that they're not trained to do that, but man, that could have solved a lot of problems. Shoot one of the tires even. That would have basically, I mean, she still probably would have kept trying to drive. Yeah, and she used her car as a deadly weapon, sure, and I'm not refuting that, you guys. I'm not refuting that. I think it's wrong. She should have been arrested. I still think that shooting her, I have mixed feelings about it. Did she deserve to die? I think the goal should be to try to minimize death. I think the goal should be to minimize death, if you can. You know, and that's just the thing, man. How can you minimize the death? Yeah, I mean, you could still get away with a flat tire, obviously. Yeah, I agree with that. Stopping her vehicle and getting out when it's... Yeah, and she could have. She should have. Obviously, she should have. And there's a lot of variables. And like I said, I usually do... You know, it's funny. I usually do take one side or the other in a lot of these situations. But in this instance, I'm having trouble taking a side. Because I just... You know, obviously she was a whacked out liberal. But at the same time, I don't know. I have trouble with it, man. I just have trouble with it. Oh, I don't delete comments, by the way. I don't delete comments on here. I don't even moderate. I don't moderate this channel at all. There's like zero moderation. You guys could literally say whatever you want. Now, however, YouTube, I think, does have the jurisdiction on here to delete comments. I really don't delete comments, by the way. Unless it's like extremely vulgar and I feel like YouTube would want me to take it down. It has to be extremely, extremely vulgar. And that I want people to have their own opinions. I want people to have their opinions on this. Yeah. My haircut's diabolical. Look, my haircut does suck. It's obviously, it's even, but my haircut is very basic. Yeah. I have a super cut style haircut. I get it. But yeah, it's good to be outside today. I'm really glad to be hanging out here. You know, and talking about everything that's been going on, I think, yeah, I think both are in the wrong. I think the lady in the car was in the wrong. I think the ICE agent was in the wrong too. I still think he could have shot the... Let's see. Okay, Corey says this. Imagine this scenario. Okay. So I'm going to read Corey's comment real quick. And by the way, everybody, it's okay to have your own take on this. If you side with the ICE agent, if you side with the lady, I don't know who's really right or wrong in this scenario at this point. I mean, I'm having a tough time trying to figure it out myself. But I'm going to read Corey's scenario, though, real quick. Corey says, imagine this scenario. Local cops are arresting someone. You show up at the scene and block their cars with yours. The cops say, Michael, stop the car and get out, as they proceed to the door and try to get you out. Okay, interesting. Interesting. And no, and I get that. And that's the situation. I would get out of the car. You know, I wouldn't do. Here's the thing. It depends on the type of person. You know, obviously the lady in the car was, you know, deranged. You kind of have to be deranged to be trying to interfere with like what the federal agents were trying to do, right? And absolutely, and I believe the lady was totally in the wrong for using her car the way that she used it. It was, and if you look at that other angle, it was clearly being used as a weapon, right? Yeah, and yeah, she should have got out of the car, and she shouldn't have been trying to interfere with what ICE was doing. I really don't think she should have been. If she wanted to protest, she could have protested on the road, like just park your car safely somewhere, get out, protest, whatever you got to do, and say, if you want to say ICE sucks, that's fine. But I do believe what she was doing was absolutely incorrect. I think it was stupid of her. No, I think what she did was dumb. And yeah, she did, by the way, she took a risk. Absolutely took a risk. But I'm curious what transpired before all that. Like, it looked like she was trying to block traffic in the video. You know what I mean? It looked like she was actually trying to block traffic. So I want to know a little bit more. Are there more videos that have come out that show kind of what was transpiring before the ICE agent shot her? Because I want to know, is there more video evidence that came out? You know. By the way, shout out to Nick Shirley though for exposing all the fraud in Minnesota. I want to give that kid a shout out. I think he's cool. It's crazy because a virgin Mormon took down Walz, man. Took down. I will admit I'm pissed off at Governor Walz using this event to deflect the fraud that's happened in his state. We're not going to forget that. People still want Walz to resign, by the way. Minnesotans still want Walz to resign. And by the way, I still wish that the lady didn't get shot. You know. Yeah, you know, and look, she in her mind thought she was being the hero. Obviously she was just being a Karen, you know. It sucks she was being a Karen, and that Karens always think they're on the right side of history. I mean, here's the thing, the irony about Karens is they do care more about social compliance than what's the word? So they care more about social compliance than they do actual morality and stuff like that. For example, they would have been by the way, Karens would have been the type of people who would have like ratted the Jews out to the Nazis, for example, right? Because they care more about the social compliance of the state than they do about actual morality, right? And the thing is, it's just like, look, and she should have got out of the car, and she shouldn't. Look, I here's the thing. The side of me that's, and maybe this is a weakness, I don't know. There's always a side of me that thinks that try to use the weapon as a last resort, even because the person's clearly an insane person. And yes, she clearly, and by the looks of those videos, used her car in a way that was just totally wrong. I don't know, I have a lot of mixed feelings about it. But I see where everybody's coming from on this. I see where people are coming from. And that's the thing, man. Well, but by the way, he was able to get out of the way, right? He was old. The ICE agent was able to get out of the way. At that point, did he need to? I wish he would have shot out the tires. Is what I wish he would have done. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, there's clear video evidence showing she was using the car as a weapon, obviously. But, and this is why I'm having trouble taking sides, though, because I think that both. I mean, obviously, under the circumstance, adrenaline's adrenaline. Things happen. But like, let's say, in that scenario, for that scenario, he didn't draw the weapon and he just dodged. You know, I think that would have been the better scenario. And I think it would have looked better. I think it would have actually gave, you know, I think at this moment, because the thing is, because already people have a low opinion about ICE already, right? So if you want ICE to look better and you want these crazy Karens to look worse, it's sad that he just couldn't have dodged and just, like I said, shoot out the tires or something. I don't know. I still... I don't know. I just don't think... Yeah, and she shouldn't have been. Absolutely, she shouldn't have been. She should not have been in the middle of that federal arrest. And she took a big risk doing that. I don't believe I should ever be the judge of who lives and who dies. You know, I want both parties to always have at least an outcome where both survives and learns a lesson. You know, that's always the outcome I want, is where both parties survive and learn some sort of lesson from the matter and can do better in life. But no, and it's very obvious that she was being a Karen. I wish she could have, you know, I wish she could have got out of that alive, though, still. Like, and by the way, like, you guys, I know that she was in the wrong. I know that she was using the car as a weapon by the looks of that video. It is cartoon. Look, and yeah, is it? It is cartoon style thinking. Here's the thing, man. And maybe, I don't know if I'm wrong, if I'm right on this. All I know is that my goal is, in every situation, the goal should be to have both parties make it out alive, right? Was she in the wrong? Yes, she was trying, like, she was going forward into that ICE officer. And if he didn't dodge, he would have been dead, sure. I 100%, absolutely. But I still think, I don't know. You know, I mean, they could have also, by the way, let her go. I'm not saying let her go permanently. They had her license plate number. They could have easily arrested her later. You know what I mean? They could have, you know, found out where she was going and stuff like that. So I don't know. That's the way I look at it. It's a tough one, man. For me, it's tough, man. But yeah, I think both were in the wrong. I think both were in the wrong on this one, man. And it's a tough opinion. It's a tough opinion because that Chip guy, why did you report my stream, dude? What'd I do? I have an opinion on this. I'm not saying that she was, like, ultimately the worst person in the world. I do believe that, you know, that Chip is probably a troll, though. That Chip guy, dude, if you're, like, I'm sorry, she was clearly blocking traffic in trying to run over the dude. She was just as wrong. Reported me for what? Having an opinion on something? Dude, that Chip guy, what the hell? What'd I do? Just had an opinion on this? I'm sorry. Hey, Chip guy, I'm sorry I have an opinion that you don't agree with. Doesn't mean that, I mean, if you want to report me, that's fine. Having an opinion that both sides were in the wrong is not a bad thing. Like, even if I agreed with the ICE agent or if I agreed with the woman, I have, you know, it's just an opinion. I'm not saying, like, I'm not saying it's fact. You know? I want people to decide for themselves, ultimately. I'm just saying that I'm having a moral quandary over this. I'm having a moral quandary. I'm having trouble with this. Well, I mean, obviously she was exhibiting Karen behavior to block traffic the way she did. And she was, based on the reports, she was impeding an investigation. All right? So if you're impeding investigation, she almost ran over a dude. I mean, that seems like some Karen behavior, if you ask me. So me calling her a Karen is not necessarily a bad thing. It's an opinion. It's an opinion. Do I know her very well? No, but it seems like Karen behavior is all I'm trying to say. Corey says, I appreciate your opinion, FYI. I don't care if it's different. You aren't wrong or right. You're allowed to have them. Personally talking about them is the best. Yeah, and here's the thing. Ultimately, I want all you guys to kind of decide for yourself. You know, watch the videos for yourself. You know, don't let the mainstream media tell you how to think. I don't want to even tell you guys how to think. I want to think how I think. I want to express my opinion, but I want you guys, and I feel like, you know, and by the way, Nick Shirley inspired me to try to get to the truth of the matter. What is the truth in this matter? I'm still debating what the truth actually is in this matter. Absolutely. But yeah, that Chip guy, look, I understand you're emotional. I know it's an emotional topic. It very much is. I absolutely agree with it, man. And it's, but yeah, it just seems like she was exhibiting behavior that would be aligned with a Karen. I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing to say. I don't think it's a bad thing to say. Ethan Moore, look, I'm not out to gain people's respect. I'm not out to lose respect. I really don't care. I am out to try to understand, right? And having an opinion, and by the way, my opinion is I'm not gonna lie. I think my opinion is kind of milk toast pussy. I have a milk toast pussy opinion. Ain't gonna lie. No, I think it's good to talk about, man. I think it's good to talk about, and I think people should look at the different angles of the video and decide for yourself. You know, ultimately, like I said, I'm not here to be the moral arbiter of the world. I'm not the moral arbiter of the world. I'm not a judge. I'm not the jury, and I'm not the executioner. But it just, you know, both of those angles, it does appear. Well, one angle is very damning, by the way. The other angle that came out on X, where it shows she was using the car as the deadly weapon, man. And it's just, I mean, do I feel like the move that she did was stupid? I think the move that she made was dumb. I think it would have just been better to not interfere. She shouldn't have interfered. She was in the wrong, absolutely 100%. But the ICE agent, and yeah, I'm making my own, I guess I am making my own judgments on this, but I'm not going to damn anybody on this one. Dude, that chip guy, what's your problem, dude? I appreciate, by the way, I appreciate your enthusiasm in the chat. I really do. I really do. I appreciate this enthusiasm, man. But I'm just trying to understand, like, why am I wrong and why are you right? You know what I mean? You know, like, I do think that she was, you know, I think that she was exhibiting behavior lines of a Karen. That's just my take on it. It's not a bad take. Because if it just seems that way. Now, if I get more evidence to say on the contrary, sure, I'll change my opinion based on more evidence. Sometimes you have to put pieces together. You got to make certain assumptions, and you formulate an opinion on it. Is my opinion right? I don't know. I could very well be wrong. I probably am wrong. But I think it's good that people get it out. You know, get it out in the chat rooms. I'm not trying to cause division, by the way. I'm trying to cause, first off, I think debating and arguing and really hashing things out, even on my platform, is a good thing. Corey says, that chip guy, you were obviously projecting. Look at your picture. Supporting a Hey, that chip guy, man, to each their own, brother. To each their own, man. Hey, you know, say what you want, say what you will. Do what you got to do, bro. Do what you got to do, man. But no, I really do want to thank everybody in the chat, though. I think what's happening I don't know. I got to give a big props to Nick Shirley, though. I love this kid. I love this kid for exposing Minnesota for what's happening, man. Sorry, guys, checking something. But no, is this chip, look, you know, that chip guy, you know, obviously you're very heated, you're very emotional. I get it. Probably don't agree on anything, but it doesn't matter. I'm not out to agree with people. You know, I'm out to state my opinion. You know, I'm out to, you know, do I think you're probably wrong on a lot of things? Sure. You probably think I'm wrong on a lot of things. Wait, hold on. Why you I mean, I do look like I have low testosterone, by the way. I do. I look like I have low testosterone. That's okay, though. I'm okay with that. You guys are making this good, man. You guys are making this sexy. Yeah. It feels good to be outside, though. Obviously, it's a little cold out here, but I got my jacket on. It's funny. I'm wearing shorts right now, which is insane. It's bloody insane that I'm wearing shorts at the moment. I got some pretty jacked teeth. Oh, no. Yeah, no, I understand what you're saying, Corey. You're good. No, no, I knew you were talking about that Chip guy, though. I think that Chip guy's just out to wreak havoc in the chat room. And hey, I appreciate it, man. I like having the one guy who's trying to rile up the chat. It gets the people going. So I fully support that Chip guy, letting out his emotions. I want to hear it, man. And I'm not going to block him. Anybody who wants me to block him, that's bad. I'm all about just say what you want in the chat, even if you're a total jackwagon, I don't care. But yeah, and the whole situation's wild, man. The whole situation's wild. It's wild, brothers. Man, we're only an hour into the stream. We're getting likes up the ass, dude. I love it. I'm starting to think I need to do more streams from my smartphone, No, I think as long as I'm talking about controversial things in the world, it's usually what gets the show going. But I do enjoy talking about controversial stuff because, I think it's the discussions going, But thank you guys for thank you guys for tapping the like button. I really appreciate it. Also, don't forget to tap the subscribe button. The more subscribers we get, the better. Subscribing does help this channel grow a lot, so the more subscribers we get, the better. We're trying to reach 7,000 ASAP, but we'll see what we could do. And but yeah, don't forget to tap like, tap subscribe, and with every stream that we do, the more we get pushed out to the world on the algorithm. So I appreciate that. See what we got here. But yeah, once it hits around 12 o'clock, I'm probably going to get my ass back home. I mean, I still got 59% battery on here, so I could stream for a while, man. That's why I love the Google Pixel 8 Pro, man. Let's get 20 likes. Yeah, I think we'll get to 20 likes. Hell yeah. So tap that like button, you guys. Tap it. Tap that ass, dude. Tap that ass. Tap that like button. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Tap that. But, yeah. Yep. Yeah. Yeah, it's wild, man. The whole situation is just crazy. I'm debating whether I want to do my show in 720p, or 1080p. I've been kind of trying to gauge whether that's the way to go. Because I do my show in 1080p when I'm doing it from the computer. But sometimes I got weird bandwidth limitations that happen. So I'm kind of debating with myself a little bit. I might because like when you do 720p, you don't have to use as much bandwidth, which is nice. Which kind of helps out a lot now that I think about it. So I may have to go down the road where we do 720p instead of 1080p, this sort of thing. It's kind of the way it goes. I'm going to do a little more research, obviously, trying to get a gauge on that. Yeah, look at this, man. The park is looking glorious. It's beautiful out here at the park. I love chilling out here. But yeah, I decided, I was like, I don't want to do a sit down episode this morning. I want to go outside, stand up. I kind of sit in this one area of the park where I kind of chill out and just do my thing. And the show's growing, man. The show's growing. It makes me very happy. Yeah, I may do 720p for the streaming. I'm going to probably use the services of ChatGPT to kind of strategize whether, because I'm Yeah, as long as I keep the audio decent, I think 720p is probably the best way to do it on streaming. Because, yeah, I don't know. I think it would just scale down better on phones. Let's see. Corey says we got to get together for some food sometime off stream. That'd be kind of cool. That'd be pretty pimp, actually. Hell yeah. Going, Corey's my boy, by the way. Corey Howland. Everybody, total stud. Total stud. But yeah, no, that'd be cool, man. Yeah, even if we just like go get something simple, nothing crazy. I'm kind of a baller on a budget at the moment, so trying to spend as little as I can, but I don't mind like going out to a basic place or something like that, you know. Nothing cray-cray, nothing too fancy. But hell yeah, dude. I know I've been pretty busy lately. I've been trying to do more streaming, and honestly, the show's been growing at such a rapid rate that I've just been trying to keep focusing on the live streams and stuff, and it's kind of the way to do it. I just kind of keep doing my show the way I want to do it, and it's just been kind of working. And as long as I'm, you know, being me and authentic, you know, I mean, it's really the way to go. But no, I love doing the show. I got the little captain in me. Little captain in me. Oh, my back. But yeah, man, it's pretty fun. I love doing the show out here. I have a blast with it. This is just a good spot to do a show because, one, I get to be surrounded by trees, which is awesome. And I'm next to a park bench, which is even better. But yeah, no, it's wild just how much the show has grown over time. And it's freaky, man. It's become a... I don't know. People actually want to hear my wild-ass thoughts on shit, but... And I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that I'm very unfiltered and I don't apologize. I think the thing is I don't apologize for what I think, and that's the difference. So many people kowtow and apologize like pussies, and I don't. I mean, I really don't. I have fun thinking the way that I do, and yeah. By the way, everybody, Tim Walz for Oregon Governor 2028. Just kidding. Tim Walz 2028. Woo! Governor. But yeah, no, Corey, that'd be really cool to get some food sometime, man. I don't know when I'll be able to do it. I'm trying to get I've been grinding pretty hard lately. Like grinding as hard as I can, man. So I'm trying to see what I can pull off at least. Absolutely. Man, my unibrow is so obvious right now. I gotta pluck that thing. I've been plucking at my unibrow this entire show. It's tough to see because I virtually don't have any eyebrows anyway. So it's like, you're not seeing much. Hold on, you guys. Do you guys think I could pick this out? Here we go. You guys are watching a grown-ass man in the park picking out his unibrow. Hell yeah, I think I'm kind of getting rid of most of it. Maybe I'll just pluck out my whole eyebrows. There we go. Oh, that's perfect. Well, Ben Siddle, you're saying infinite regression is possible, and it's possible casual arguments don't work to explain the universe since there's no time before the universe. Well, here's the thing. I think we got to stop using time in the equations. I think we got to stop treating time as if it's a dimension. Time is really just a measuring stick, not a dimension. This is one of the things I hate about modern physics, is that I think that time needs to be used as a measuring stick, but it should not be listed as a dimension. I think that's a big deal in physics. If anything, I think that my solution to that would be, look, for example, everybody says that time is distorted within a vessel. Like, let's say you go near the speed of light, right? Obviously, everything in the vessel itself actually slows down because it technically becomes heavier, but you in the vessel wouldn't really notice any effects. one of the things for me is I don't believe it's time dilation. Everybody calls it time dilation. Time dilation is a very lazy excuse to explain what is actually happening within the vessel itself, right? What's really happening is everything is just slowing down. It's just not moving as fast. And I think what gravity does is it slows down matter. But you're also probably thinking, well, isn't that time? No, time is different. Time is a measuring stick. And I think that time in most of the equations needs to be seen as a measuring stick and not a dimension. That's the problem I have. Time is a measuring stick. So it's a measuring stick for motion, right? But it's, in my opinion, it should not be used as a dimension. Is the biggest flaw, I think, in modern physics. That's my deal with it. I think what needs to be better explained is, why does everything slow down? It's not because time slows down. It's because you do. And by the way, slow or fast is not a real measurement of time. I know that time is used in measurement of speed and stuff like that. But time itself is not a dimension. It is a measuring stick. That is about it. And I'm sick of, I think that's the one thing that pisses me off about modern physics, is I think it's some of the models are outdated and some are inaccurate, but look, Einstein's relativity is brilliant, by the way, fucking brilliant. But I do believe that the usage of time as a dimension is kind of dumb. I don't know. It just doesn't seem right. Treating time as a dimension or a substance in the equation just doesn't feel right. You know what I mean? I feel like it's a lazy explanation of what's actually happening. But that's the way I see it, at least. But yeah, no, back to everything that's been happening in Minnesota, though. I think what's happening in Minnesota just crazy. It's been a wild string of events. We got people asking for Tim Walz to resign, which, granted, I think it's very appropriate. Nick Shirley exposed, and one YouTuber named Nick Shirley, by the way, he inspired me, took down all of Minnesota, took down Governor Walz. I'm proud of him, dude. I'm proud of him for taking down Tim Walz, man. Tampon Tim, bro. I'm putting out a poll real quick. Hold on, you guys, putting out a poll real quick. Nope. Try to shorten this a little bit. Tiny. Make it a little tinier. Here we go. Got a poll going. Now, the poll question is Tim Walz afraid of Trump? That's the ultimate question we're asking right now. All right, so we got 5 votes. Is Tim Walz afraid of Trump? 80% of you say yes, 20% of you say no. Cray cray, man, cray cray. Here we go. No, and I think the thing is, it's one of the biggest scandals we've seen in a long time in politics. And I'm not much of a politics guy. I ain't gonna lie. I'm not much of a fan of politics and in general. Oh snap, you guys! I got the 350. I got that 350. My buddy paid me out on Venmo. Hell yeah. Yeah, don't forget to drop a topic in the chat, you guys. Don't forget. But I appreciate everybody on here, man. This is great. We're having a blast. We're chilling out in the park. I love chilling out in the park. This is like the best. I get to sniff plants. Look at this. I'm gonna sniff all the plants. Let's go. Sniff this plant. Oh my god. Sniff all the plants, bro. Sniff every plant. But yeah, no, this is the area right here. It's a little sketchy. We'll give you guys kind of a 360 view of everything around here. It's a little sketchy up here, but you know, I'm next to the pool, which is kind of cool. Maybe I'll go for a swim. You guys think I should go for a swim? What's the most consequential news of the last 9 days in your eyes? I think everything that's been happening in Minnesota, all the fraud that's been reported, all the fraud that's being investigated, and the cover-up that's happening, I think that's been honestly a big deal. Without a doubt, that's been a big deal. But yeah, no, I think it's good to call out the fraud, though. I think the fraud that is happening, it needs to be called out. It's entirely screwed up, man. And I love the fact that the fraud's being called out. But let's see. We got 18 votes. Is Tim Walz afraid of Trump? 61% of you say yes. 39% of you say no. Interesting. And I think Tim Walz is pretty afraid, man. Tim Walz is pretty afraid. Madman, it's an interesting take, brother. That's an interesting take, my man. Very interesting take. You guys, don't forget to tap the subscribe button in the upper right-hand corner. It does help the channel grow quite a bit. We're getting a lot of votes on this poll, though, by the way. Lots of votes. Lots and lots of votes. It's fun to be down here, though. I'm not going to be streaming for too much longer down here, but probably end up streaming at the house here in a bit, but... Do you guys think I should do 720p? I don't know, you guys, this is a bit of a technical question. I'm debating whether I should do 720p for the video quality or 1080p. I'm thinking I might go 720 and see what happens. But I feel that I could also keep doing 1080p and it'll still work. It just depends, because I think the quality would still end up being better in 720p. It just really depends on a few factors, but I'm not sure yet. Yep. You guys are kicking ass, man. But yeah, down here at Mingus, man, look at this beautiful view. I do love doing little short videos where I kind of compile a lot of the stuff that goes on here at Mingus, a lot of the nature, a lot of the ducks, They're chilling out. Not too sure if we're going to see any ducks at the moment. Yeah, not really seeing much wildlife action at the moment, but yeah, I love coming down here on cold days because nobody comes down here. And honestly, I'm just standing up most of the time, so I kind of keep myself warm by pacing around a little bit. People are just voting and leaving the chat. No, it's neat to see people voting in the polls. I love it when people vote in these little polls. I was thinking I also just might start doing more live streams from the smartphone. I mean, sitting on my desk using the smartphone and stuff like that, I think would probably be one of the better ideas. And it'd be kind of fun, Madman, hey, I'm in Oregon too, brother. You're an Oregonian? Hell yeah, dude. F yeah. Hell yeah. Blue Nose Pity says that Chip dude was wrong as fuck. Hey, what up, Blue Nose Pity? My boy, dude. Yeah, I mean, you don't need to report that Chip dude, but if you want to, go for it. I mean, that guy was just kind of a chud, and he was being kind of a moron. But, people have every right to report my stream. Usually the people who report my stream are, in my opinion, kind of Karens themselves. They're total Karens, and they got a problem with people having their own points of view that are different than theirs, and they hate it to the point where they're like, I gotta censor this guy. You can call somebody a Karen. You have every right to call the person a Karen. But no, I've been, by the way, been grinding hard on this show. Having a good time doing it too. I got Tree Fitty on my Venmo. Yeah, dude. So I'm pretty stoked. The $350, I'm gonna end up just transferring it to my checking account, probably. Most likely. I don't know. Or I could just use Venmo to pay for shit. I could just keep that in the Venmo thing and just use the Venmo debit card. But only way I'll use the debit card from Venmo is if I actually do get like 5% cash back. Which, if there is 5% cash back rewards for having the Venmo debit card, I'll absolutely do it. Other than that, though, I pretty much just use my I have a Robinhood credit card that pays me 3% cash back on all my purchases, which is pretty sexy. So I don't have to think about really anything. I just go to wherever I go. I will use my Discover card pretty strategically as well, which I think is the smartest thing I could do because it gives you 5% cash back on certain things. So if I like, maybe I don't know what they're doing this month for their rewards. I think it might be like Amazon or something, or supermarkets. Well, like, yeah, if I go to the supermarket, use my Discover card, I think for this quarter, I think I get like some form of epic cash back or something like that. I'm not too sure. Yeah, it's pretty sweet though. I love it. Does the east half of Oregon still want to merge with Idaho? I'm not too sure on that one. I wouldn't be surprised. I think a lot of people are kind of fed up with, we get kind of fed up with the libs in Portland controlling everything. It's funny. The funny thing about Oregon is the majority of our state, at least the majority of the counties, are pretty red, and then there's only like a small segment, mainly in the bigger cities, that's blue. I don't know what it is, but I think the people who live in the bigger cities just are masochists, and they keep voting for these liberal policies. They love getting taxed. Like my dad, he was so giddy when he seemed pretty giddy when his property taxes got raised. He said, "But it goes to good things." Does it? My dad has way too much faith in the government, and that's his greatest flaw, is he doesn't see government as a force, which it should be seen as a force, by the way. You should not want the government to take care of you. It's just a bad idea. And the best way to be independent in my mind is honestly, and this is going to sound like some, you guys are going to be like, oh, you're a boomer. No, dude, create a portfolio. I have a portfolio that's filled with several different companies, several different exchange traded funds that also have several different companies, right? My goal is to be the most diversified man in the world. My wealth will always be protected because not only am I diversified in one asset class like stocks, I'm diversified in bonds. I'm diversified in commodities. My portfolio, unless the world gets destroyed, unless everything gets demolished, will withstand the test of time. People who save their money, I don't get it. Here's the problem. The Federal Reserve prints your money, right? Federal Reserve prints your money. Not prints your money, but prints more money, debasing the currency. Also, the dollar is not backed by anything. It's so funny. People complain about higher taxes, but people need to complain about the fact that the dollar is not backed by gold. The dollar is being printed up the ass. That's the problem. ET says, you got any stocks in frosting? Actually, by all technicality, I think I do, because I do own Kraft. I do own Kraft and Heinz. So those are two that I own. What the hell's that? People doing some weird shit up here. Is that butt sex? Either way, though, like I'm just one of those guys that the thing is, I own stocks in just about everything. But yeah, technically, I think, and I think last time I checked, Kraft Heinz, I think that they also do frosting. I think they have a company that does frosting within their conglomerate. So yeah, absolutely, man. I'm sure that, technically I've got exposure to everything through the Vanguard Total World Index. So that's kind of a big deal. On my way back, though, I'm going to see if there's any swing trading opportunities for the VT. If not, it's probably just a buying opportunity. The thing is, I buy low and I sell high on the VT, which is a way for me to make a pretty good amount of money on the side. I'm not going to lie, man. I make a good amount of money on the side just by swing trading the VT here and there. Wait, why would I buy here's the thing, man. If you swing trade the volatility of the Vanguard Total World Index, you have the safety and security of a diversified index, right? And here's the thing. I prefer diversification over everything, man. But the question is Tim Walz afraid of Trump? The results so far are shocking. 54% of you say yes, and 55 say yes. Well, 54% say yes. The numbers are fluctuating quite a bit. But yeah, I personally think that Tim Walz is afraid of Trump because he knows that Trump is not afraid to, first off, to call him a puss, and he's not afraid to call out Tim Walz for being a little bitch. So, yeah. Can't say I blame him, man. But yeah, I'm still considering if I should do 720p for the show. I was thinking about using the downscaling. I was going to do like a 1080p style for the canvas in Streamlabs OBS and then output scale to 720p. I think that would probably be the best way to do it, in my opinion. But yeah, no, I love being out here and just kind of walking around. First off, I burn calories by standing up. I've been standing up for the last hour and 24 minutes. And this is great. I've just been pacing around, man. Pacing around, talking to you guys, and it keeps me focused. So my legs are a little chilly. I feel a little bit like a popsicle right now, but one thing I love about Oregon weather is it's pretty mild, at least on the coast. So, yeah. Yeah, and that's the thing, man. Here's the thing, man. I think it's one of the best things that you could do is invest. But I think the more diversified you are, the better. I'm widely diversified in real estate investment trust. That's a big thing that I do. It's a huge thing that I do. I love being diversified in real estate investment trust. They're short for REITs, basically. The shorthand is REITs, REITs, REIT, sorry, real estate investment trust, blah, blah. Anyway, so the reason I love REITs is because the cash flow that I get is actually kind of nice. Now, I don't think that REITs are qualified dividends. I might have to look into that. I'm not really much of a tax expert. I just, I let TurboTax Premium sort it all out at the end of the year. I pay a pretty good chunk of money to TurboTax, not too much money, but pay an okay amount to TurboTax to kind of do the tax side of things for me, and that's kind of the way I do it. It's the way I've always found it to be. There's probably better tax services out there than TurboTax. Now that we're in the age of AI, it's crazy that AI could even do your taxes, which is even more wild. So I think there are different services out there that are cheaper because they're just using AI to figure out all the tax shit. But also TurboTax is, they're pretty decent, man. I've gone through TurboTax every year. They're just easy to go through, and I don't have to talk to anybody, which is nice. I just got to give them all the accurate information, and then they figure it out for me. Obviously, I got my 1099s and stuff, and it's beautiful. So Madman says, creepy dudes walking in circles in Oregon. That's every 20 feet. Absolutely, man. But no, I'm having a good time out here. I think it's great. But yeah, no, I think if we were to boil it down with what's happening in Minnesota, I think I'm not a fan of still not a fan of some of the things that are going on there. I think there's a lot of fraud that's going to be uncovered here pretty soon. And I can't wait to see Nick Shirley's part two of revealing the BS that's going on in Minnesota. I can't wait, man. I can't wait. I think it's fantastic, dude. And and like I said, I think both are in the wrong. I think she was in the wrong for trying to run over the ICE agent. I think he was in the wrong for drawing his gun. I think both. I think taking a side at this point, I'm still very hesitant to take the side of who's good and who's bad. I think both were bad. Absolutely. I just... Yeah, I'm going to have to wait until March. Here's the thing, though. We got until April, and usually once I get my consolidated 1099s, that's when I plug it all into TurboTax Premium, and it's pretty much what I do. Nothing too crazy. Bunch of stitches. I don't have a tax attorney. Why would I need a tax attorney? My taxes are pretty simple for the most part. My taxes are easy for me because I only get really 1099s, That's about it. So taxes are very easy for me at the end of the year. I'm not like a millionaire. I will say this, though. One of the things is my whole goal is to always have income. And I want to be a millionaire in net worth, not in you know what I mean? And when I say net worth, I mean actual assets. I want the majority of my net worth to be in stocks, straight up. And I think it's a good thing. And yeah, I got I'm very diversified in the real estate investment trust sector. I also just have a lot of individual stocks that are from different sectors. I got Coca-Cola, I got Realty Income, I got the major players, PepsiCo. And I'm just a long-term holder of individual stocks and a long-term holder of the majority of ETFs that I have. The only ETFs that I actively trade are the VT, the Vanguard Total World Index, and the SBIT, which allows me to bet against Bitcoin, because we all know that, what do we say on this channel? Bitcoin is clickcoin. Here we go. It's bullshit. Yeah, we all know that Bitcoin sucks, is what I'm trying to say. What happened to the goatee is what Michael Donaldson is asking. I shaved it off, man. I cut my hair as well. Cut my hair, shaved the goatee. I went back to my normal look, which honestly I prefer this look more than anything. I prefer to have a clean shaven look. It's just much more manageable for me. It just makes my life a little easier. But yeah, it's the look I prefer, without a doubt. It's the look I prefer. Clean shaven, very easy. Michael Donaldson says clean cut Garza. I prefer a clean cut look. Look, I'm not a guy that likes to grow a beard anyway. I'm a messy eater, so every time I eat, man, it gets all over my beard, and I look like a total crazy man. And so that's just kind of the way I do it. Slack Daddy paid me the $350. Hell yeah. They call me Witty. P. Diddy. They call me Witty. Yeah, you guys, I'm pretty proud of myself, man. I've been doing more push-ups and stuff like that. I've been really getting into shape. I'm not saying I'm in perfect shape, obviously. I'm still kind of a little bit tubby, but I've been doing at least the bare minimum a day. I make sure my goal is I don't leave the house until I've done at least 10 push-ups. I have to do my 10 push-ups before I leave the house for the day, mainly because it does keep me in shape. Also, push-ups get easier the more you do them. And it's funny because a lot of people are like, well, do you do a variety of push-ups? I don't. I just do the same type of push-ups every time. I do wide, and that's about it. For me, it's easy. It keeps my core pretty stabilized, you know. Let's see, what's Vacation Time saying? Vacation Time 24/7 says Aunt does our taxes. Fairly complex. Give her a New Year American Silver Eagle as a thank you this year. These are going. Oh, nice. Hell yeah. Well, get it, my man. Get it. Beards and goatees are flavor savers. No, I don't know. I'm just one of those guys that I'm a clean shaven freak, you know. And it's just the easiest way to do it. I keep my hair short. I keep my face shaved. Hell, I even went the whole 9 yards, dude. I shaved my pubes too. I shaved my pubes. I shaved my beard. I shaved my head. Well, hair. I didn't shave my hair. Obviously, I cut it shorter. But yeah, I honestly have one of those like knockoff Flobies. And I love the knockoff Flobies, by the way. Those things are amazing. Amazing. Yeah, I prefer push-ups because it helps me. It helps keep my arms a little stronger, keeps my chest good. It works my core a lot because I do the wide push-ups. If I'm doing the wide push-ups, it does help the core out quite a bit. And I pretty much do the wide push-ups only. Keep it wide and keep it good. And it's nice though. I feel like my chest is getting firmer, which is nice. My chest muscles are getting a little firmer, and I feel like better circulation. And I think that's just kind of the way to go, man. Better the circulation, you know. It's I love it. Yeah, it's kind of the way to do it, you know, in my mind. Yeah, I mean, the goal is just come as the outcome, and most of my and there's a lot of income that can come in from, like, for instance, one's portfolio. I think portfolio income is amazing, and I think it's not talked about enough. And everybody's like, "But you get taxed on your portfolio income." It's like, that's okay because I don't have to sell. The thing is, if I have to sell any aspect of my portfolio, I get pissed. I'm like, fuck that, dude. F that. I don't want to sell any ounce of my portfolio. I don't want to have to. Except for, obviously, I swing trade the VT because there are price fluctuations that happen, and people don't realize you can make money off of volatility. But no, I think that I'm a very much a volatility kind of guy. I love playing the vol, and there's not that much volatility. I will say that there's more growth than anything because of how diversified it is. You're getting exposure to international companies. You're getting exposure to U.S. companies at a massive scale, and it has over 10,000, roughly 10,000 holdings in the fund itself. So there's just so many opportunities, and it's one of those things that you can buy it on the dip, and you can sleep soundly at night knowing that you own pretty much every tradable company in the world. So I think that the one thing is people don't realize, man, those types of ETFs are really, really crucial. So I love owning those ETFs, man. Those are my favorite ones to own. It's looking like it is starting to rain again. Doesn't shock me. In fact, it's supposed to be raining around 12. Looks like it's getting a little bit of an early start. Let me get under this a little bit. This will keep me roughly relatively dry. Probably not fully. No, but I only swing trade 20 to 30% of my portfolio. Everything else is untouched. I buy, I hold, I never sell. I reap the dividends. I take home the dividends. I let the value of the ETFs that I own appreciate. I let the individual stocks that I own appreciate. I make sure that if I'm going to get into individual stocks, they better be good. I will admit, I do put a little money down towards penny stocks that may blossom. If they don't, no big deal. It's really just a kind of a blotch at the end of the day. Defend GM's flat plane crank LT engines. Let's see. But yeah, I figure there's also some upside, by the way, with penny stocks. There can be. I'll probably have to end the stream here in a little bit, you guys, but I'm trying to stay on as long as I can. As long as I possibly can. I may end up doing, just because of how effective the live streaming is on the app, I may start doing more live streaming from the app itself. Just overall, the YouTube app. So that might be the best way to go at this point. Yeah, it's looking like it's starting to rain quite a bit, and now, here's the thing, man. Dividend reinvesting, and here's the thing. I don't like reinvesting the dividends into the same shit. One of the things I like to do for my long-term holdings is I take the dividends and I find something else that maybe I haven't invested in, something else that looks good. Maybe an ETF, maybe another individual stock that I just don't have individually in my portfolio that I want to have. And I think that's a good thing. I think that a diversification of companies can be a very good thing. It does protect you from uncertainty of the future. And look, even though a company may seem, like for instance, Coca-Cola, I'm pretty sure I could put my entire net worth into Coca-Cola. Not financial advice, by the way, but I'm fairly certain that if I put my entire net worth in Coca-Cola, it would be fine. It would continue to grow and so into the dividend over time. But at the same time, I don't feel like I could sleep soundly at night. I'm one of those guys that I do need a mechanism of safety. Like, for instance, I can't just own a home and be okay with owning just the home, right? First off, I don't feel like a home is an actual asset. Owning a single family house is not an asset in my opinion. It does appreciate, yes, but in my opinion, it's more of a money pit than anything else. It's just one of those things, and I prefer to invest, take whatever money I get and just invest it like crazy. And then I do swing trade for income. Obviously, I think that's a smart thing to do. And then that income is used to fund the portfolio even further, right? So it kind of works out in the end, just overall. And I think it's the smartest thing you could do. But yeah, man, that's just kind of the way I see it. Easiest thing to do. So Vacation Time says, nah, I enjoy owning property, paid cash, stayed out of debt and invested. I mean, that's smart. I mean, look, I think it's a good thing to invest when you can, invest as much as you can. I think it's smart. But you look just like ketchup smells. I appreciate that. Thank you. That's so funny. Michael Donaldson said, is Tampon Tim in jail yet? I don't know, man. But you guys should vote in the poll, by the way. Is Tim Walz afraid of Trump is the ultimate question. And 61% of you say yes. And 39% of you say no. Yeah. But it is starting to kind of come down a little bit. I'm pretty sure it's going to start raining pretty hard. But I needed to get out. I love getting outside. I love being out here, you know, and talking to you guys over the internets and stuff. And yeah, I love it, man. But yeah, I'm having fun with it, bro. Having fun with it. We got 60 votes in the poll, though. I'm really happy about this. Is Tim Walz afraid of Trump is the question. Also, another reason I kind of want to do more shows. I might do a 50-50 split where I do some of the shows on using my phone, and then the others not at all. Michael Donaldson says I'm out later, Garza. Later, Mr. Donaldson. It's good to see you, bro. Always good to see Mr. Donaldson in the stream. But yeah, I'm gonna do a few experiments though. I'll probably do I might do 720p for some live streams on Streamlabs OBS and see how I like it. See if that's kind of the way we want to go with the show. I'm not too sure on that front. We'll see. We'll see what we're feeling. But yeah, I think it'll be interesting to see what we'll do with the show. I think 720p would be very easy on the internet connection and would probably result in less dropped frames, most likely. But yeah, no, make sure you guys tap the subscribe button, though. The more subscribers we get, the better. It does help the channel grow. But yeah, the question is Tim Walz afraid of Trump? 62% of you say yes, whereas 38% of you say no. Yeah. I think he is, man. I think he's afraid of what's happening. But yeah, the whole situation going on in Minnesota is crazy, dude. It's crazy. But yeah, from the other angle, though, it did appear that she was about ready to run him over. So, if you're gonna use your car as a weapon, then that's pretty messed up, man. But he shouldn't have, I still don't think he should have pulled his weapon. I think that was pretty messed up, too. It's raining a little bit here. I'm trying to stay under cover here. Under this tree kind of helps a little bit. It keeps the water off the phone and stuff. And this phone is very water resistant, though. It's a Pixel 8 Pro, so it's a pretty good one. Yeah. Yeah. But I will admit, I really do love my one of my favorite cars is the Toyota Corolla. Toyota Corolla is amazing, though, man. I'm a huge fan. Toyota Corolla is sexy. I got a pink Toyota Corolla. Pink Brony Club. I'm gonna keep on fapping down in West Hollywood. Yep, I'm fapping. I'm crapping and I'm fapping and I don't know why. I don't know why. I'm that kind of guy. My musty is the bussy and I don't know why. We got 64 votes in the poll, man. Hell yeah. Hell yeah, dude. Yeah, I mean, what we're seeing, though, it's like... we gotta see, man. Thank you guys for participating so much in the chat, though. This has been excellent. It's been amazing. You guys are rock stars. I just want to say that right now. Incredible dudes, incredible people. Yeah, no, the Toyota Corolla, by the way, there's a reason why it's one of the best-selling cars of all time. It's because it is a reliable vehicle. Like, is it going to be the fastest vehicle? No. Is it going to be the most golden vehicle? It's a very safe vehicle, by the way. It's a very sturdy vehicle. It's very long-lasting. And if you're not going crazy with it all the time, you're going to be able to protect your engine for so long. And also, by the way, put good gas in your car. In my Corolla, I basically exclusively go to Chevron. I only use Chevron gas, straight up. And the reason for that, I have the Techron additive, which I'll spend a little bit extra for that Techron additive. Absolutely. People are like, well, why don't you just get cheaper gas? It's like, no, I want my engine to last a long time. And one of the best ways to keep your engine lasting a long time is to get fuel, in my opinion, that has decent amount of good additives that can clean your engine for you. So my engine gets consistently cleaned in because of that. And I do take my car in for maintenance, and I don't ever want to ever trade in my car. I don't understand the mentality of people who buy a car and then like 2 or 3 years later they're just like, I'm going to trade in my car like a moron. I think it's stupid. You're just putting yourself into more debt. And the thing is, a lot of the car dealerships will always convince people like, yeah, you should trade in your car every 2 to 3 years. And I tell them, fuck that. When I got my Toyota Corolla 2019, I was like, I don't ever plan on trading it in. I plan on running that sucker into the ground and using it to my advantage. The funny thing is, I use it for tax write-offs because I do a lot of business travel. So anytime I do business travel, I use it for write-off. So in a lot of ways, the savings that I have on taxes of not having to be taxed on certain income is enough to pay for the car itself. So I think it's wholly idiotic, and it's something that normal people do, and I don't want to be a normal person. I reject society, because first off, society rejected me a long time ago. Second, I reject society because I think the things that people do are inherently bad for their health. Even, it's funny, people will do everything they can to be like everybody else, even if it's to their detriment. They will do anything they can to fit in. Fitting in is poison. Don't ever let anybody force you to fit in. I would rather be alone and hated than fit in. Absolutely. 100%. Because I know that deep down, I'm still going to be me, and I could at least sleep soundly at night knowing that I was still honest. So yeah, I've openly rejected society. I'm a part of the buy nothing movement. And what that means is basically reject consumerism. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm still buying food. I'm still being smart. I still buy the necessities, right? But I'm talking about, don't go buy a new car out of impulse. Don't go buy a new phone out of impulse. Buy things out of necessity more than anything. And invest. I would rather own Coca-Cola stock than continuously buy 12 packs of Coca-Cola. However, I do like Coca-Cola as well, so I not only invest in Coca-Cola, I also have Coca-Cola soda sitting around the house. But one of the big things for me is as an investor, as somebody who loves to invest, I invest quite a bit in companies that have proven cash flows. I love real estate investment trusts. I'm a very safe investor. And some people say that level of investing is boring, but not really. When I see the dividends come in every single month, or not every single trading day, I have a dividend come in because of how diversified I am. And when I see those dividends come in, man, it's a sense of dopamine. There's a sense of dopamine that I get whenever I see the dividends come in. I get a huge rush of dopamine every time. Every freaking time. So I'm a huge fan of, like I said, I'm a very, very huge fan of dividends. I love great companies that pay a good dividend. Vacation time, my VC. Oh, dude, I own VC stock as well. VC's the ones that they're basically just for everybody who doesn't know what VC is. A VC is it's a real estate investment trust that owns several real estate properties. But the real estate properties are gambling, I think, in leisure for the most part. I also own another real estate investment trust called, it's like a gaming and leisure one. So I own a couple. So I own two REITs that their primary focus is to own buildings that can be used for gambling. So the great thing is the casinos. So Vacation Time is saying VC is primarily in Las Vegas. That's amazing. So yeah, it's crazy. When you own VC properties, you're owning quite a few extreme extremely good casino properties where the cash flow is crazy, the rents are high, and by the way, the rents are ever growing. So what happens is the rents will increase, gamblers will keep gambling, obviously, because when people's what sucks is, and the thing is, during times of tough economic times, during tough economic times, people tend to gamble more. So during a rough economy, actually owning VC properties isn't necessarily the worst thing to own. Obviously, you're not going to be making more money. The rents do increase over time, though, which is great. That's why I love real estate investment trusts, is because rent increases are inevitable, and they help me keep up with inflation through an ever-growing dividend increase for each of these. Yeah, Vegas is failing. Yeah, people don't want to go to Vegas, because why would you go to Vegas when you could do DraftKings on your phone? Why would you go to Vegas when you can go to a local casino? Casinos pop up everywhere. They're popping up everywhere. So it's like, what would be the point of going to Vegas when you could just hang out in home in your PJs? Why bother going to Vegas? It makes zero sense to me. Absolutely. So I feel like I should sing the song Yellow by Coldplay. Look at the stars, look how they shine for you. But yeah, we got 69 votes on the poll. Is Tim Walz afraid of Trump? 70 votes. We got 60% of you say yes, and 40% of you say no. Hell yeah. Madman says he's also got a 69 notchback Mustang swapped. Oh, hell yeah. Hell yeah, dude. All right, you guys, I do got a jet. Make sure you guys tap the subscribe button, though. More subscribers we get, the better. It does help the channel grow quite a bit. I will catch you all later. I'm going to do another stream here in a bit. I'm going to be hanging out with my girl. I think my girlfriend's going to be at my place during lunch, so I'm going to be chilling out with her for a bit. And then, yeah, I'm going to be doing more streaming like a crazy man. And we'll keep on rolling, you guys. All right. Peace out. A-Town down. Love you guys. And I'm out. Let's end the poll real quick. Let's end the poll officially. Let's see what the results are. All right. Is Tim Walz afraid of Trump? 62% say yes, and 30% say no. Heck yeah. Hey, that dude 87, go fuck yourself, bro. Go shove it in your ass. All right. Catch you guys later.